All right. I don't know if anyone's watching right now. This isn't going to, but I'm just going to say this for people who will watch the recording or the podcast. Forewarning, this is not going to be record or be edited. So like be prepared for like a lot of side talk or whatever, but we're just gonna like we're just here to celebrate our second birthday and just have fun. So again, if you're listening to the recording of this and you expect this to be polished and finished, I got something to tell you. It's not going to be. So but I hope you stick around and listen. We got, we're just going to shoot the shit about this last year. We have a couple announcements to make, and then we're just going to answer questions of people here too. And so we'll see if someone's connect. I see two waiting. Oh, I see a comment. Oh, hold on. I got to mute this because there's like a lag.
Sorry, I'll do my taxi.
Hey. Oh, thank you,
Thanks,
Mike. Yeah. Whoop, whoop. Thank you. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we got one person watching Discord. We got another person watching the YouTube chat. And if any of you guys have questions or comments or whatever, feel free. So the first thing, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, you guys, for playing in the games and coming here and shooting the shit with us. To those of our brothers who could not make it, we shed a tear for you and we drink in your memory. At least some of us drink in your memory, and we'll pour a little 40 on our floor if you don't have carpet or expensive floor. And we'll talk about you in a good way when you're not here. So yeah, the second year was kind of a crazy year, man. Like it definitely, if you compare like our first year to our second year, I think our second year, I feel like, is when we started sprinting. When in the first year we were still like building our cardio and learning how to jog. Well, I think that a good thing to start off with to talk about is cold brew fucking coffee. Cold brew coffee is the official sponsor of Twin Cities by Night.
What?
Meaning that I'm not talking about Starbucks cold brew. I'm just talking about cold brew, period, and beer. Yeah, and beer. It's not. Oh.
We would very much welcome a partnership with Starbucks and or Tim Hortons or other.
Yeah. Like everyone's like, you don't want a White Wolf partnership? Fuck no, I want a Starbucks cold brew partnership. You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking for here. So the first thing that we will be talking about is Twin Cities, or is World of Darkness, the Ultimate Evil. I keep clicking back between my tabs because I want to see the first one. Give me 1 second.
You want to see the first
one?
What?
No. I got two tabs for like the YouTube, the actual video, and I'm not going to look at it until I get told to look at it. So we got this handled. I'm just like overwhelmed by technology. The cold brew hasn't kicked in yet. All right, so let's talk about World of Darkness, Ultimate Evil. So before we do, I just want to kind of give everyone like basically a quick history lesson on World of Darkness for those of you, the Ultimate Evil. Those of you who don't know, is originally when I started like formulating the idea for that game, I wanted to run a really campy, like cheesy Hunter the Reckoning game that took place in Bismarck, that kind of like made fun of Bismarck, North Dakota. And it was actually, for those of you who watched or listened to the Ultimate Evil, it was going to be where like this hunters group, or whatever the fuck you call it, Hunter the Reckoning, was going to stay in those apartment complexes that you actually saw a couple of the characters in the Ultimate Evil go and talk to someone named Johnny Vaughn in. But like, that kind of shot the idea to the group, and the group kind of like rolled their eyes, and rightfully so, was like,
well, we have had many things that we were like, let's play some cheesy campy game, and then it turns in way more serious.
Yeah. Well, that's true too.
Also,
yeah.
Hunter the Reckoning. Who wants to play Hunter the Reckoning?
Oh, you just done piss someone off. Like there's gonna be like 20 downvotes.
I love Hunter the Reckoning. It's the best game ever.
If I want to play hunters, I want to play like real hunters without any powers.
Oh man, right now, Adam. Yeah, right now. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We'll be talking about that later in our announcement section. Anyway, so so then I was just kind of stuck. I was like, okay, well, I'll try to run a Mortals game that takes place in the old World of Darkness, but there's really, I don't know. And then Slavic's like, dude, why don't you just run Chronicles of Darkness? Like, and I'm like, what? I don't know. It's a new system. I don't know shit about the Chronicles of Darkness games. And he like, yeah, what's that? Oh yeah, he literally like gave me like a 3-hour presentation on what Chronicles of Darkness Blue Book is and the rules, and like why it's such a great yeah, go ahead. Yeah, feel free to. And Slavic, yeah. And so he's like, just like like telling me about it, and I started getting like I was getting converted to some off the wall religion, dude. And I was like, really, 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 like all the world's questions were being answered for me, and so I rapidly like ordered the book off of Amazon. I literally had the game already idea in my head at that point. All I needed to do was read the fucking book. I read it like in 2 nights, and then we started the game. And originally, the Ultimate Evil was just going to be a game where like Slavic and Adam B, aka Mitch, aka Alexa, aka whatever all these other different characters who's not here today. It was going to be him joining our group, and it was just going to be them two. And then it was going to be a game if at that time the other players who were part of our group, if they wanted to jump in, they could. It was going to be super casual because I really wanted it to be like this experimental, like really like character driven, small interaction, like really tried to like push this stuff that I just test things as a storyteller. Like after the first session, all of a sudden I was talking to like Mitch and Slavic. We're like, should we get a couple more players, man? Like I really feel like this could be pulling a couple more players and like new players, because and we end up sending like a thing out on Reddit, Facebook, whatever, like, hey, looking for a new player. And we had a couple people, well, more than a couple people who apply. I hate saying apply. It sounds so fucking like apply for it. Blah, 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 like it's a privilege
who
or
wanted
some
to
shit.
play, I guess.
Yeah, who wanted to play, and that we basically had a questionnaire we sent out, and we end up having Andrew, who at the time had been like, when we started the White Wolf Media page, had been like a guy who frequently commented on there and who we had asked to be a mod with us, and he was being a mod for the group. And then a guy named Adam who saw a thing on Reddit and who basically jumped on and was like, hey, and then they started. Long story short, this game just like went from being like this experimental, like, see, you know what I mean? Like I remember thinking Slavic and Mitch hated the game after the first session because it was so slow compared to like Vampire the Masquerade and shit. And I just thought they bombed. I thought I totally fucking bombed. I remember like
that
after
was
being
hilarious
done,
because at that point I thought it was our best session in any game ever. Like that first Ultimate Evil session. And Chris was completely freaked out. He thought it was the worst session ever, and that we're gonna have to cancel the game or something.
I thought I was gonna have to cancel it because like I got done. I really thought that Mitch and Slavic hated it. I just because they were really focused, and that's what it was in retrospect. They were focused, but I thought, oh man, they're quiet as fuck. This is really bombing. I just remember being done and sitting down the stairs and be like, fuck. I bombed, and then all of a sudden like Mitch hits me up. He's like, dude, I had a fucking blast. I'm like, really? So I hit Slavic up. I'm like, hey, I feel like I bombed. What do you think? And Slavic's like, dude, I loved it. And I was like, oh shit. And it just kind of like put this like new motivation in me as a storyteller, because I was like, man, really, I can like explore more shit in this game. And one thing that I like to hear from people who do enjoy the Ultimate Evil, man, and that's almost like it's kind of like when someone's like, I like the Ultimate Evil, I feel like a hipster. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, you like my hipster band? Like I love it because it gives that little like sense of like it's not that much of a recognized game of ours because it's kind of like a smaller game line, and to hear that people like it and it ended up becoming something really special, dude. Like I made 2 new friends because of it. Go ahead.
I think part of the reason just is because the game is so like character driven, and it's not like, oh, you're supernatural and you have these supernatural powers. It's like they're just normal people and we're going about our normal lives, and people like seeing characters that are relatable and driven by more understandable motivations.
Yeah, definitely. That game was to be honest, of all the games I've ran, is probably like the most closest to my heart because it takes place in a town that I spent like 4 years of my childhood in. So like a lot of like those areas I described in the game were like areas that I had been to a lot as a kid, and I have this like nostalgia for it because I haven't been in that town in like like 10 years, man. And I constantly think about it. It's weird. It has a special place in my heart. So like the Capitol grounds, like even like the neighborhood that Amanda lived in, and like the truck stop, and like all this are real places that I had been, and I'm not to get too personal, but had actually been like that truck stop that you guys went and Brian Eagle went to is the truck stop where my parents met. You know what I mean? Like so it's like these different little areas and shit like that had significance, meaning in my real life. So I get to tell a story there about it. And
Yeah, it makes a big difference when you're able to kind of utilize things that are you have a personal familiar connection with.
yeah.
You can put a spin on it that like no one else can. An outsider wouldn't be able to do it like you.
Yeah. and I felt like as a storyteller too, like one thing that I did enjoy about that game, and I think like transferred over to like Juarez and other games of ours and hopefully future games, is that I felt I got better at improvising conversations with minor NPCs. You know what I mean? Not like every conversation with the NPC had to be like, dramatic plot reveal, you know what I mean? Or murdered prostitute named Brian or whatever, like it was like it had like just like common day conversations. And it was actually really kind of mind blowing that the players were like looking for these small conversations, you know what I mean? Instead of being like, I want the big reveal, instead of like, I want to talk to my mom, or I want to talk to my white trash neighbor in the trailer, you know what I mean? Or I want to talk to like my grandfather or this guy, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh wow. And I felt like it really gave me a chance to be experimental. So I guess I will sum it up, like my view of it. I felt that game was really experimental. You know what I mean? And I felt that it helped me sharpen some of my storyteller skills. I don't know. I mean, I don't know about what you guys, if
I loved the little details about the characters. Alex's neighbor was hilarious. The whole scene with Michael's mom was it was just so fun to role play. It's not something you'll get, for example, in Vampire, where the relationships are just very different.
Yeah, I mean, because you are playing like an undead monster, so
exactly.
Yeah, and like, dude, I don't give like every White Wolf game is a horror game at its core. I mean, people could debate that shit, but I mean, it's called The World of Darkness. They're all horror games, whatever. Okay. But Chronicles of Darkness, dude, playing a normal fucking mortal, it's so much easier to like make people scared than it is in other games. You know what I mean? Like there's like. I thought I blew my wad as a storyteller in the what session was it? Was the second session with the house. I had 2 new players. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mitch couldn't make it to that game, and I didn't want to like. I wanted it to be like a slow like hint of supernatural bent, and then I just like totally blew my wad because what I had did as a storyteller is I had like these key points, like they're gonna find out about this. This will happen. If they talk to the prostitute, they'll find this out. If they talk to the ex-husband, they'll find this out. You know what I mean? Jay Bishop, they'll find this out, and they'll find this out. But I didn't officially put him in any kind of order, but I always assumed looking at the house for some fucking reason was gonna be the last one. So I had this big dramatic reveal that I was gonna have in that house, and then like, oh, we're gonna go look at the house. I'm like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like so all this smaller like reveal shit.
Yeah,
and
players have a way of like,
oh yeah,
throwing a wrench what you want to do.
It's all good, man. Like, but I just remember thinking I blew my wad. Like oh shit. But then yeah, like these players aren't going to be like, Jesus, is it a thaumaturgist or is it a fucking chemistry being used? It's like, no, they're like wondering why the fuck they saw like some brutal shit like that. But I don't know, man.
I'm a number of things we don't know. We're people. We're not used to stuff like that, so it's a different perspective. And it was fun to play through. I really enjoyed that. That being my first session, in that particular game. I had never been on any kind of online like YouTube game or anything like that, so I was super nervous and drunk, drinking the whole time. I swear to you, I had at least like five double shots of whiskey during that game. Like and 2 before we started. So like I drank a lot.
And that set the tone for the game. That's why there's a lot of cigarette smoking in the game.
And then the next session, I was drunk the entire game.
Oh man, I felt bad for Che too because I decided to use Che to like more progress like the fucking like the horror elements, like the spiritual horror vision. You know what I mean? Elements of the game, but there came a point in the 4th session where I felt like I mentioned this earlier personally between us. I felt like I was failing as a storyteller because it wasn't exactly focusing on those elements at that time. So like everyone's like, I'm going to the library to look at microfilm. And I'm going to go talk to the junkie, and I'm going to go fucking to look at my police database. And then it's like Che's like, I'm going to look at the telephone book. If the guy's not in the telephone book, fuck. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like.
I was trying to get the point across to you when we were talking about it the other day is that like it was actually enjoyable for me to play through those frustrations and his inability to really like contribute. He didn't know what he was doing and he was lost and he was confused and he's trying to help and he's having these weird visions and he was just stressed out. And so for me, it was more like it was fun because I'm playing through these like tribulations for this character. So like he wasn't on top of things. He wasn't perfect. He was kind of, just floundering around, and that was fun to play.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And
Didn't fail. It worked
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah. One thing that I'm looking forward to eventually running this game again is the fact that there's like with Twin Cities by Night, there's like a beginning, middle, end. Like I have pictured, like that's not a game I'm just going to continuously run for like till the end of time, kind of thing. But this is a game that literally I could like think. I mean, I've already have like the second story arc already in my fucking head. Like it's like legitimately like already fucking done. I got like the fucking whatever it already in my head because like, and there's so many different ideas you can do with that setting. It's such a fucking amazing setting, and I really had a blast running that game, man. Oh, hold on one second. I gotta tell some Rugrats to shut up. Dad's trying to nerd out here. Give me 1 second.
Okay, so why don't we actually talk about something? What about? Oh yeah, let's talk about our first experiences with our game. So me and Andrew talked. So how about you, Quinn?
Got any insights?
Oh, into the first game?
Oh yeah.
Well, there's because I first started with the on Twin Cities by Night. I got into the role playing like a few years ago, but I hadn't really been able to get with a consistent group till I met with Chris's. And so I remember when I first started, I was like, okay, let's see how this works. I'll give it a try. I haven't done this, 'cause I haven't done something like this in like a few months. So I was just like, let's just see how this goes. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, it was great. I Twin Cities by Night, is very special. It's a sort of great intro game that it was. Or well, it's still going, and we're planning on just continuing the story. And Chris already has it all planned out how it's gonna end. He has all these like seasons that he wants to go through. And we're like the good players we are. We're gonna fuck it all up.
Oh man, yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that one coming here soon, man. Like, yeah, like, to go back even before, like with Quinn and Slavic and all that shit. I got really lucky, man, that I didn't fucking get like I got really lucky because I wasn't vetting shit, man. It was legitimately like I got like 3 dudes from online who were interested, and thank God they paid off because it really could have been some dude showing up with like katanas, dude, and like, you know what I mean, face paint. Be like, I'm here to play the Stott stepbrother, like I don't know.
Stepbrother.
Yeah. I fucking know, right? Is that
they
something?
They have a complicated family tree.
I don't remember him having katanas in that.
Well, this is like the modern day, like honorable guy. I don't know if you ever heard about him, but anyway, so yeah, like Ultimate Evil was a blast. I really loved it. The second arc will happen after this next Twin Cities by Night arc. I guess we'll talk about that later, but I really love it. It has a special place, and we wrap that up. Only thing that I wish as a player that I would have done, I'm really working on that now, and I think I was able to do it in more is that I felt like I was rushing the ending because I felt at the time that I had too much of a weight on my shoulders, like running Juarez and that. We had diluted going on, and I was just like, I got to end one of these games, and so I was like, try to end the Ultimate Evil, and I felt like I maybe was like rushing it a little bit too much. Where whenever we run the next arc, I'm just gonna do what we did with Wars and just kind of let it grow on its own. And when it comes to its natural stop, it comes to its natural stop, and we'll call it then. So, all right. So I think it's a good point to talk about what another game was that we wrapped up this year was Victorian Age Vampire Diluted. I think I'll actually hand this over to Quinn because this was actually the first time that we had where I kind of was like, does anyone want to run a game? And Quinn actually stepped up and said he had an idea. So Quinn, the mic is yours, sir.
All right, so yeah, I don't remember exactly when the idea started in my head. I do remember like I said, it was. I think we would at the time we were doing Juarez and had Ultimate Evil started. I forget.
Yeah, I think the Ultimate Evil had started because I think Ultimate Evil and Wars
it was
started
ongoing
around the same time. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I remember I just got started to get the idea in my head because I had I just they threw out the ideas. Does anyone else want to run a game? I thought, you know what? I think I got something. because earlier I actually got the inspiration for Diluted. It came from actually a couple of video games I was familiar with. One of them is called Bloodborne. It's basically where you basically it's a hack and slash game, basically where you are in a Victorian style city called Yarnum, and the main point of the game is that you use blood as a means to like heal yourself, but unfortunately it has a side effect of turning you into like this man-eating beast. And so there are a lot of themes
Vampire.
like exactly, except more werewolf than apparently, because in the game like most of the people turn to like like straight up monsters, more like werewolves or something like that. And then
Sort of
it
like
got
a
even
demon.
more elder, and then it got even more and then it got more crazy back there from there on. But that's beside the point. So ultimately I love the aesthetic of the Victorian era. It just like the smoky small coal dust covering everything, just the dirt, the grime, everything about it. And also it helps because like with a vampire, it's a very the that sort of time period is very associated with vampire, because I believe like Dracula, the original Dracula was came out in like early, I don't know, I don't remember when it came out, sometime in the 1800s, and during like a Victorian period. And so it's the whole thing just sort of called to me, and so that's why I decided to set it in there. And then I did some more research into so what year exactly should it take place in. So I wanted it to be a little bit earlier than most Victorian games tend to be. So for example, like the game takes place in 1848, which is like about 50. It is technically part of the Victorian age, but this is like way before a lot of things happen. Like before the Civil War, before there's like revolvers, before electricity is a thing. And so then it all sort of like came together slowly over pieces. So that's like I knew I wanted to deal with something. I wasn't trying to do what Chris did, like have a bit more smaller game, focused more on people. I will admit I was just a bit more. I've always been a bit more drawn to the supernatural aspect of the World of Darkness, because I always loved the idea that like the absolute craziness in some of the books, like the Dead Hannah stuff and all the rest of them. Like okay, we can leave that in the past. We can leave that. Just ignore that. But I did like the idea that there are some genuinely like supernatural stuff that is beyond just what normal people deal with on a day-to-day basis, going around doing stuff.
Yeah,
So
I mean, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you go ahead.
No. I thought. Don't keep going. Go ahead. I don't want to.
I was
And
also
this is why there's no.
like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, exactly.
It fits in the. You're right. You're absolutely right. It fits into the Victorian setting really well, and it was really fun to play through.
So I decided to. I can't remember how I decided on making this the snake oil thing, but I do remember I wanted to sort of deal with the idea that that when a vampire drinks a person's blood, it's possible for them to be negatively affected that way. So then I just actually made up my own little poisoning system, which got a little bit worked into it, but I didn't really get as much as I would hope. So now I'll be able to work on that if I ever run this again in the far future.
You say if you're gonna run it again, dude. Get out of here, man. you're like if I ever run it again, I just slowly like release letters written by Mithras, or you know what I mean, in our Discord. Like I know that itches, because how else am I gonna play Melkavian? Goddamn it, I'm trying to figure out Melkavian. I can play in that game.
Oh no!
It's like yeah.
I mean, you already played Herschel. That was basically a Malakavian.
Oh, dude.
In disguise.
Herschel. Okay, a couple things to add to what Quinn said. First of all, man, Quinn was nervous as fuck, rightfully so, because this was the first time Quinn ran a fucking game, dude, ever. Like, period. Not only is he running a game for the first time ever, period, he's running online, and we all know about online, and online can be rough. So he's sitting there running a game, and I remember I mean, I'm not gonna fucking lie, dude, as myself, I was nervous a little bit too. You know what I mean? Because it was like, whatever, you can say whatever I can sit here and lie and be like, I was 100% confident right away, like handing the reins to someone else on this channel. You know what I mean? Was gonna, there's a little like, oh, this is my baby, don't drop it kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And it was
we got the katanas. They're like,
Yeah,
no.
exactly. Yeah. Then you're like katanas for everyone. Yeah. No, but like I knew within like fucking 10 or 15 minutes, dude, just like how you were describing London and shit like that, man, and your description of it was just so fucking good, dude. You know what I mean? I actually gave you a shout out, shameless plug, in the last Brian Book Club I did where I was talking about Alan Moore's From Hell and how Alan Moore and Eddie Campbell like basically like set the theme and tone of London very well where it drew you in, and I felt you did that in Victorian
Verbally,
Age
yeah.
Victor. Yeah, like your knowledge of London. I'm like my dumbass. Is it where is Jack the Ripper anywhere? And you're like, dude, that's like 40 years from now. And you like know all these like areas of London and like all this shit. And I was like, holy cow, dude. Because like Quinn has a very different this is like peek behind the curtain, like anyone gives a shit, but like Quinn has a very different like setup of storytelling than I do. And the fact that like he's like, all right, do some of your characters. And he's like, all right, we'll meet. And I'm just like, is he like in my head? I remember being like, fuck, I hope he's taking this seriously. You know what I mean? Because it was like he's very like, everyone's different. You know what I mean? And then he shows up and he just starts telling this story, and like, holy shit, it was like so fun to play in, and like the timing was perfect because I just got done reading this Aleister Crowley book, and I'm not a fan of the dudes, and people are gonna be like, oh my god, Magic with the K, you hate Aleister Crowley, what? And like, no, I'm not, whatever. I just think Aleister Crowley's a spoiled fucking guy who got a bunch of money from his rich daddy and became a piece of shit who tried to tell people he knew magic so he could get laid. I mean, that's pretty, and get people's money.
That
And
segues really, really nicely into something I was going to ask you to do is talk a little bit more about Herschel, because
Yes.
Lost Sojourner in the chat is saying how terrifying he was.
Yeah, so with Herschel, and I felt bad with when I first, I wasn't sure. Like I knew what I wanted to do with Herschel, but I didn't want to do it right away because I didn't want to like throw Quinn off his game. You know what I mean? Like a new storytelling, be like, hey, I'm gonna have this disturbing character. You know what I mean? So I try to like do the Herschel at first. I started to be like, oh, he's just this obvious con man, and he's a fake, and he's a fraud, and he's a wannabe. But then slowly, I wanted to show that like he's a dude who's a piece of shit, and he'll take advantage of whoever he wants to get what he wants. And that's what I think Aleister Crowley was in real life. So I wanted to make a character that I felt like I could explore those methods with, and I got to tap into a lot of things with that character that like I got to tap into like Ghoul's Fatal Addiction, which is like one of my fucking favorite books. You know what I mean? And like the whole Dominator Ghoul relationship. I got to tap into how fucking vampires aren't good people, dude. Like vampires, no matter they still got the beast in them. You know what I mean? I got to tap into like how someone who's weak and a really weak coward, you know what I mean? And obviously he's a weak coward, can still cause irreparable damage to people's lives and be it and still get into power. You know what I mean? Just because someone's weak and cowardly doesn't mean that they're still not a threat and they can't get anywhere. So it was like that was my, I guess that was my, I hope that answers the question, but that was my motivation. I really wanted to tap into a disgusting character, but I didn't want to be like edgelord disgusting. You know what I mean? Like where it was like, oh, eyes roll. I wanted to be like, yeah, I wanted it to be like eerie. You know what I mean? I wanted to be like just disgust people. I really did, and that's what vampires are. And fucking dude, fucking Aleister Crowley, fucking God, Herschel Buckman is not the only fucking vampire like that. And I'd be even willing to say that like 95% of the vampires in the world of darkness are probably like Herschel Buckman, dude. You know what I mean?
Talking about your ghouls and the way you handled them and how unnerving that was.
Yeah.
I have to agree. That was pretty twisted, and it kind of made like in character Augie kind of like whenever he saw you with him, just like this guy, I don't like him at all. Like,
yeah, I mean, because
other players felt like seeing that interaction, like when we were around it and out of character, but it was disturbing. You did a good job without being too much.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like whatever. The game made me want to read this Victorian Age trilogy novel series that was written like in 2002 or some shit, written by Philip Burrell, I think his name is. And there's this disturbing fucking scene. Like there's some disturbing shit in there. Like some fucking straight up, like of all the White Wolf corny fucking whatever fiction novels they released, like the trilogy, the Victorian Age trilogy is definitely the best. And there's this fucked up scene dealing with the Tremere and his ghoul. And I won't get into the schematics of it, but it definitely also inspired Herschel's whatever. I just wanted to test that. And I feel like also, and I'm rambling now, but I feel also testing that with Herschel helped me expand like NPCs and vampire games I ran. You know what I mean? So it just, I don't know. It was
It's also,
awesome.
it's
For
also
me.
it's funny for me because I remember looking at it in hindsight now, I realize I tend to not go towards the more like, you know, the ooh, that's that guy's more creepy thing. I do for a bit more different style of it. And I noticed that especially like with Sir Horace Holden, he's definitely
No.
it's much more interesting to see like the differences in like how, like, you know, how you have, because one of the things I like about the Victorian thing is that, especially with the Camarilla, like you technically you're on the same side, but really when you get down to it, vampires they're like there's just all this going on between them. They're trying to use each other, trying to, you know, basically what can I get out of this person? Can I do it without them hurting me? Basically, just like, or it's just like, and just, you know, trying to
I
find
really
something to
felt
do
you
after
did that really
hundreds
well
of
with that
years of life.
Nosferatu guy.
He did it
What
with
was
like
his name?
Daniel Locke.
Solomon Hess.
Yeah.
Solomon Hess.
No. It was his sire. What Solomon was the one that died, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Solomon
yeah,
was the
yeah,
one that died. Daniel Locke was the sire.
Daniel
Yeah, I think
Locke.
you did.
okay.
You really tapped into that with him as like showing up and just like, you're gonna do what I want, basically. And we're like, shit, we kind of have to, because otherwise, you know, who's gonna care if we die?
Yeah. Quinn by far
Yeah, I
ran
just
Elder
want
Vampires.
to.
Go ahead.
I want to interject.
Go
I really loved listening to Diluted. It had some really, really outstanding scenes. The one with Horace Holden basically setting up a trap in this I don't know, in this shop. That was
The
excellent.
cocaine store, Mitch's cocaine store. I
Yeah.
like to buy some cocaine.
But also, one scene I absolutely loved was the first feeding scene. So I think it was the end of the first night, and every character was like, "Okay, I'm gonna feed now." And it was the end of the session too, and I thought, okay, so they're all gonna roll perception something, and they get their 2 blood points, and they're completely derailed. Like every player tried to one up each other with being really, really edgelord. Like, I'm gonna get a couple of prostitutes. I'm gonna.
I
I'm
was
gonna
not
strip
trying to be
in front of
edgelord.
I'm gonna strip in front of my ghouls and then take blood from them.
Oh fuck.
Jeez, Chris, you're dying over there.
Yeah, it's the Herschel and me dying right now, dude. You know.
But
Yeah, that- that-
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good
you
as
need to
well.
stop
Hey,
taking that
that's my
potion, man.
decision. That's my decision. You stay out of this.
yeah, exactly. I know I was gonna, and that's a good point. I remember, well, because I had like kind of like a scene like that planned in my head, but it was kind of a one up because I think Mitch is like, wasn't Mitch like, I'm just gonna get a bunch of hookers and go party with like with
Yes.
cocaine and shit like that. Yeah, but no, I was gonna say that like one thing about Diluted that was fucking well, a couple things. One, Joaquin plays intimidating elders way better than I ever have. Period. Point blank. You know what I mean? Like Holden on the brick through the window scene and the whole like fucking condescending, like how you're just like here for me to fucking have fun with. Just like it's so. I mean, it was scary in its own fucking way. And and I was gonna and the second thing I was gonna say, I was back when the game first started, or actually back when we first started putting podcast on, Brendan from Full Metal RPG was listening, and one thing that he said that, and he listened to the story, but one of the first things he said was that at first when he heard Slavic have a Middle Eastern accent, like Egyptian accent, he was at first like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to listen to this. Like this is just, you know what I mean? Like gonna be like, I don't know if I should say this, but fuck it, I'm gonna say it. You know, like dressing up for a set. You know, we're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's gonna be one of those games where it's like, oh, they're gonna wear feather boas and pretend they're anime characters on camera while playing the actual play. No, but it was like, he's like, but after listening, he's like, holy shit! Like, you stop. He's, and this was a compliment to Slavic. He was saying like, you stop forgetting that this is an accent that this guy's trying to do. You know what I mean? And it starts like, wait a second. This guy normally talks like this, right? You know, and like, and he said that, and I was like, oh wow, I'll tell him that. You know what I mean? And it's true because I felt like why I enjoyed the game so much is I felt like there was enough room to like grow our characters a little bit, you know what I mean, to like show what our characters are, but we're caught in this tide that we couldn't really control, you know what I mean? So it was a different kind of story than I was used to like running, and it was good. It felt like this like really like a movie. It felt like a fucking hour and a half movie, even though we went 7 sessions with it. You know what I mean? Like it felt like this. That was definitely beginning, middle, and end. You know what I mean? And I would have to say, by far, man. Like, and I'm not even like just saying this to say this, but I think by far that ending of Diluted blew away the endings of the two Twin Cities by Night stories that I ran. Just in the fact that like it felt like an ending. It felt like the story's done. You know what I mean? It felt like it's completed. And I know you're gonna run it again, but I don't feel like it has to be ran again. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like it's on its own, and it's like
it can stand by itself, but there's still room for other stuff.
yes, exactly. And I felt that was brilliantly done, dude. And I mean, I don't know if people listening don't know. I mean, I've gotten to know these guys on the side for 2 years now, and Quinn's very, very, very articulate and very fucking. And I'm just gonna say this, and I'm not like, I should probably take you out to dinner before I compliment you this much, dude. But he's a very intelligent guy, man. He's very fucking intelligent, man, and he likes reading, and he likes listening to stories, and he's kind of soft spoken, but he's really came out of his shell a ton from when like I first met you. You know what I mean? But and I felt Diluted just like blew me away, man, because it went from this like, oh, I'm nervous someone else is gonna be running the game, to like where now I'm like, oh, you want a game, you want to run a game, you want to run a game, and like I'm that confident now, like in everyone, and that you know what I mean, that people can run games for our groups, because man, dude, that fucking game was fun, dude. And like I kind of like am bummed out that I can't play Herschel Buckman again, but I feel
I'm not.
Yeah. I know, but I'm just like, yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
You like to
guilty.
make characters that are very controversial within the group. You like to cause like inter-party conflict.
I think Herschel had a good ride.
Yeah,
He's not the kind of vampire who makes it for long.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. That's
exactly.
that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we'll talk about Changeling, you know what I mean, later, but it's like, yeah, maybe you're right. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. Well, never mind. Hold on, I don't want to say anything, but yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I'll just say that you bring up because I'm like thinking about the Giovanni Chronicles game I played in. I'm like, my character did the same fucking thing, dude. This is like payback for all the shit that players have done to me. You know, like
I'm gonna fuck with them. That's my concept is dickery.
Dickery. I'm gonna put it. Oh, that's it. Dickery. That's gonna be my concept, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, man. It's like, but that was a really well. I mean, Quinn, seriously, bro. Like, seriously, pat yourself on the back, man. Like, we did a poll on Twitter, like, I don't know, a few months ago. Like, what's your favorite game that we ran on here? And Victorian won, dude. So that's really kudos, you know. My hipster art project, Ultimate Evil, got some love, you know what I mean? But Victorian was really popular, man. So, and there's no other Victorian games that you can really. There's one on YouTube that's in Spanish. If you guys want to check it out. I don't speak Spanish, so I've never been able to listen to it. You know what I mean? I've invited them to share on the media page, but they haven't. But go ahead.
On the subject of like Victorian games, just drawing on my own experiences that. Like I'm gonna have to like get really into that setting and everything, because I've been, you guys know I've been running Giovanni Chronicles for my own like local group, and it eventually gets to that point where it's in like the Victorian era. It's in the late 1800s, and there's a whole plot, and they're in London and everything. So I'm gonna be able to draw heavy inspiration from Quinn's game to try to bring Victorian London to life for them. So I'm glad I got to experience that, because I'm going to have to try and do that myself too.
Well, I mean, and that was the first time you played a vampire in any of our games too. Augustus was the first only vampire character you've played in our games until like Dread starts. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, then you took an interesting take on. I thought your take on Gangrel was awesome, and I know Slavic, man, he was fanboying it up that he got to fuck with Sedlite magic and all that shit. Because in Slavic's a little evil Eastern European, and I say that jokingly because we fuck with him and say he's Eastern European, even though he's not. Nothing against Eastern Europeans,
Central Europe.
but. Yeah, but
it matters to him.
Yeah, The Slavic secretly in his heart of hearts is one of those guys who will like fucking like jerk off to like level
Oh
5
my
and
God.
6 rituals
no,
of
stop.
thaumaturgy. He'll be like, Sedite magic, I'm gonna play it. No, like, so he got to fuck around with Sedite magic. And the way he did it too, like, I really like the dichotomy that him and is that the proper use of the term? That Emir and him had, Herschel had, where like, you know,
Yeah,
Herschel's
it's
that guy who'll make the
contrast.
steps. Yeah, will make a step to get power and or thinking he's gonna get power, and Amir's that guy, like, yes, yeah, it's like in the shadows, you know, no pun intended, but in the shadows,
That was
like,
a big part. Like, a big part of Amir's motivations was that his heart was stolen by his sire, right? And he had to sort of work to get it back. And
It's a lot
he
of
was
power
sort
to
of
have over another vampire.
sent to London and just give get our clan power.
Hmm.
And partly it was an advantage since I got relatively low generation. Amr was 9th generation, but it also meant that if he sort of failed, I would retire him. Like, I wouldn't play him in any other diluted. I don't think I'll play him in the other diluted anyway, because I just sort of sent him to Egypt again.
You're like, they got shit going down here. I'm going back to Egypt where it's safe.
yeah.
Exactly. Like, he has the little vial with the potion. It's like, this should be enough. I'm out of
That's
here.
good enough. I don't need more. Yeah, I'm done. With Augie, I wanted to kind of try and play a new.
It would have been like the cherry on top, but you know, Herschel was Herschel, and he had to do what Herschel had to do. So just cut your losses.
By the way, I do have to say, when and if we do this again, there's definitely going to be a consequence for saying, hang on, those guys who were part of groups, they kind of have a thing against Tremere, and the Tremere didn't come back.
I kind of wanted to play a character concept in that game that was like the sly businessman who was like the predator among all the other, the nobility. And so, and also kind of the de-evolution of that character into something more monstrous. So that's why I went with the concept you were talking about, how like, oh, it was really interesting playing a gangrel in that way. I didn't want to play like a typical like, oh, I live out in the woods kind of thing. Maybe he'll turn into that. And that's kind of the direction I do want to turn him into eventually. But it's like he's clinging to, this power, and he's slowly going to realize like it's meaningless. And so the way I was trying to play the character was just this guy who's using his newfound powers to manipulate mortals around him at first, and then realizing later on that it's like, but there's so much more out there that's so much worse, and is this really worth it? And I felt that tied really well in with how Quinn was running the story. Like, I didn't intend for that, and I think it worked really well.
Oh, I think it did too, man. I think Augie, I think Augie and I kept fucking forgetting, what was Mitch's character's name? God damn it.
Lord Pelham.
Pelham.
All his first names.
Yeah, and since Mitch isn't here, I want to say something that I've heard from quite a bit of people, is that the vocal ranges that like Mitch does for his fucking characters, you know what I mean? Like how he tries to like make each character of his, which I suck at, but like he tries to make each character of his sound uniquely fucking different, dude. You know what I mean? And the way he did that with Pelham, because Mitch was fucking like,
shout out to all the guys with all the voices, Slavic with his core accent. That's good.
Oh my god, we'll talk about that. Yeah. Let's not delve into that shit quite yet. But
with the voices, it's good stuff.
Yeah, Mitch was just super excited about the game because he loves the steampunk / whatever Victorian / even though it wasn't a steampunk game, but you know what I mean. He loves the aesthetic of the game, I guess, which was pretty awesome. So good job, Quinn. Hopefully we will see another arc of that here soon. We got nothing but time, you know what I mean? Like we got plenty of years, I think, of this shit ahead of us, dude. So this is hopefully. Don't say hopefully, motherfucker. We're supposed to talk about like it's a known fact.
I mean,
there's no escape from the games. No escape.
We didn't get our Starbucks fucking cold brew sponsorship by saying maybe we told them we'd have like 10 years of this, dude. Like, this is brought to you by fucking cold brew coffee. Hold on. Like, I don't need a White Wolf sponsorship. I need a cold brew sponsorship, motherfucker. No, but
Again, I feel the need to point out that there are other companies making coffee.
yeah. We will accept any sponsorship from any cold brew company, even if it's like you at home just buying Starbucks cold brew and putting it in a bottle and then shipping to us. We'll take that too, man. You know. So that yeah. So let's jump into the third game that we wrapped up in this year. That holy shit was this a fucking roller coaster and a half, man? Was Wars on Fire, the Sabat game. Like, I don't even know where to start with this fucking game. Okay, I know where to start with this game. So, little secret, I was getting burnt out of Twisties by Night in the second arc. Not like anything detriment on the players or anything like that. It was just like, you know, you run the same game over and over and over again, and you have like this beginning, middle, end idea of it. It's really hard to see that light at the end of the tunnel, and you find yourself like very like you're afraid you're gonna start diverting from like the story that you had in mind just because you're in the motions. And so I wanted to take a break from it for a little bit originally, and Slavic, I just read the guide to the Sabat, the revised guide to the Sabat, and Slavic and I were talking about it, and we're just like, hey, let's just run like a quick 2, 3, 4 session Sabat game. Everyone could crush shit, destroy shit, and then we can go back to Twinsies by Night. And that by that time you got it out of all your system, and you know what I mean, then you can go back to it. And so originally, Wars on Fire was just going to be a hack and slash game. And it was going to be like this unique thing where like, okay, you make mortal characters and you're going to randomly roll your clan and then, you know, be careful because your character might die. And I was like telling people that, and we had like these characters that were created in case someone's character died and they could just jump in and to play it again. And I remember like being at that character creation session, showing up because I'd been the first time we were gonna do it. I got sick as fuck and I had to cancel it. I had like fucking the whooping cough. So we came back to it, and these character concepts, I was like, what? Like these are very like articulately done character concepts for a fucking hack and slash game. It was like, you know, I'm this old gruff World War II 80-year-old guy. I'm this old grandma who's been like serving this shitty husband who beat her and who was an alcoholic and had kids that hate her, and the one she loved got killed in the war. Oh, by the way, she hates that old man because he was in the same army unit her son was. And then like I got this.
He was their officer, or he was his son's officer, actually.
Yeah,
so,
non-commissioned officer. Yeah. And then this eugenics fucking East Coast debutante guy and fucking like, well, what was it? Coyote. Like get the fuck out of here, like Coyote. You know, like I'm gonna play this wannabe Mexican revolutionary. You know what I mean? It was like a dumbass. You know what I mean? And so like,
He wasn't dumb. He's just,
dude,
he's street smart, not.
and another
just
shout out.
murders.
Yeah, just murders people. And I want to give a shout out to Alex while he can't make it, man. And I mean, I'm just gonna say this, like the Alex was just like, and for those who don't know, Slavic, Quinn, and Alex never played Vampire the Masquerade, and I believe Quinn and Alex had never played a tabletop role-playing game before. And I think Slavic, you said you had a couple times, or I'm not sure, but like these guys are completely new to this system. And look at the character range that Alex has had, dude. You know what I mean? Ophelia, the dude's first vampire character, first tabletop character. He's like, I'm gonna play a chick. Like who? Like, you know, it's something that I still haven't tackled. And he did a killer job at it, dude. And he was, and then
Gotta be
like,
your Malkavian for the next Deluded.
yeah. I know, right? Jesus. And then he did.
Malkavian's next Deluded.
Oh man, 2 Malkavians. We'll have fishes and hit each other with the fish. I get to wear the jester hat.
Oh,
And you can do the prankster.
You wear the cone.
Yeah, you wear the cone.
The dunce.
Yeah, and so and then he creates a character like Coyote, who's just a fucking scary ass character. But we're gonna delve into that later. So, anyways,
Technically,
originally
he made the new TCB
Valentine.
character Valentine before he
Yeah.
made that character. So, but
Yeah.
like he has had some exceptional concepts. I've been like, man, this is good stuff. Just watching, just like his character concepts are
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, definitely, man. Or how he like it's like the scale. Like I think maybe it was just the shock of having to play someone like Ophelia to like the shock of him playing someone like Coyote, and it's just like, wait a second, dude, you're like fucking freaking me out here, man.
Can't
And
wait to
there's
see what he
times,
does with Valentine, because like seeing what he's done with the other characters, like it's like,
oh man,
oh, what is he gonna
Yeah.
do with this guy?
Yeah.
yeah, like
Alex
that's what's
always
like.
has something up his sleeve. Like he's just gonna come around the corner and surprise everyone.
Yeah. And then we got Richard. That was, the moral
Oh, yeah.
compass for a
Yeah.
time.
Oh man,
For a time.
Don't remind me.
yeah, that was we'll cover into that but let me spit this out before we continue. Anyways, it's supposed to be a fucking hack and slash for like 3 or 4 sessions. Like for those of you when they got to the Teleku or the Setite, that was gonna be it. It was just gonna be that, and it was gonna be done. But it ended up becoming more of this different game. And one more thing about like Alex, like I knew shit was fucked up when I'm having this. It's brought to you by beer, like at Andrew's screen. One thing that I like to bring up too is the fact that when that scene when I knew Alex wasn't fucking around with Coyote, where he was kicking that dude's head in the alleyway. You guys remember that? Where like you guys are in Juarez, and he just like the dude's fucking the chick that he's getting a quickie, and just throws the dude against the wall and starts kicking. I'm like, that's when I realized that Wars was gonna be a horror, like a fucked up game in a good way. And like when I'm like, okay, roll again, and I'm like, why am I happy? Why don't I just say he doesn't and shut the fuck up? And I'm like making
You
this.
don't need to make him roll. Just let him kill people.
But it was like this, it made it like drawn out, like, you didn't, you know what I mean? Like the kicking of the head and all that. But eventually we brought in
pretty disgusting. And
yeah,
it was a very visceral scene. That's like, you're right. When I was listening to it, I've got my headphones in, I'm doing like some yard work, like, and I'm listening to this session and I'm just like hearing this description and I'm like, this is fucking twisted. This game's gonna be dark as fuck. Like that's when it hit me too. Like just as a listener, just listening to it, I was like, this is fucked up. I like this. This is really bad.
For me, that was a moment too where it was like, this is definitely gonna be a much different flavor than Twin Cities by Night.
Yeah.
I knew, and not to get vulgar, but there's a point of me bringing this up. But I knew, I felt it too when. I'm just gonna come out and say it. The guy was having sex with a woman, right? When he went up to him, and when he said he pulled the dude off, I described that the dude was still, you know what I mean, erect when he threw him against the wall. I'm like, why am I saying this? Like I'm like, I felt myself. I was trying to make this scene like very like primal and fucked up. You know what I mean?
Hey,
and just like, what's that?
Adam's
Hi,
in the chat.
Adam.
Oh, hey Adam, I can't see. Hey Adam, aka
Adam showed up on video chat.
He's probably at work at Whole Foods right now.
He's on his lunch break.
He's on his lunch break.
Oh, okay,
Exactly.
nice.
We're all
Adam,
saying things all at once.
Yeah. we haven't gotten a change yet, brother. But thank you for joining us. But so I knew at that scene, like I just wanted to make it like this game very like just show. But the thing about that game. And we experienced it recently in Changeling, and we experienced it in Twin Cities by Night too, and other games of ours. There just comes a point in the game where all the players have figured out their characters. You know what I mean? Like I think Slavic told me once, like there's the character you create, and then there's the character you play. You know what I mean? And I think there's like a little growing period in between those two. You know what I mean? Those two stances. And I think that the session where like it just clicked was the third session. And I think it was, and as a storyteller, a lot of things happened in the third session and the fourth session. But we introduced Richard, and we're going to get to that. But one thing that was that last hour in the third. I guess we should get into introducing Richard because he was involved in that last hour. And then I'll talk about like critical points for all 5 characters in those third and fourth session that really I felt just like elevated the story. So we end up having to bring in a new player. We brought in Tillman, who was going to play Richard. Poor Tillman. We did the same thing we did with Ultimate Evil, which we'll do if we ever look for other players. Hey, we're looking for players. We send a questionnaire. The potential players fill out the questionnaires. We all talk about it. You know what I mean? Because it's a group decision, and then we pick someone. Not saying that people don't get picked or whatever, but it's just like, you know what I mean? We do that.
We
Tillman got picked.
The person that we feel fits with the rest of us the most. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And so Tillman got brought in. And those you don't know, Tillman's from Germany, and English is his second language. And like, by the way, like how many people in our group are not from America? We got Slavic, Tillman.
Half of them?
Like half of them, yeah. We got one from Hobbitland. I mean, who has a Hobbit in their fucking group? We got a Hobbit in our group, man. But much love, Alex. But anyway, so Tillman like had been watching our stuff from like almost day one, dude. Constantly like commenting on the videos. Which, by the way, if you watch our videos, comment. It makes us feel good. We like, you know what I mean? And like, but would comment and like get with us and talk to us about shit. And he ended up playing in the game. And this was the first online game that Tillman had played in. He ended up created his character the same way that everyone else did. He created a moral concept. He did this moonshiner, did this research in this. I mean, think about this. You're from Germany and you're like, geez, what's like the border of Texas fucking and of Texas and war is like in 1942. You know what I mean? So you got to do a little research. He does research, makes this moonshiner, and becomes a venture anti-tribute. And he gets thrown into our group.
I just want to say that it's really admirable that he's able to make a character that fit into the setting so well, being someone who it was like, you're not really familiar with Texas. Like I'm a Texan, you know, and I couldn't have come up with the character concept that was cool. That was that cool for that time setting and that area and everything. I think that was really good.
Yeah, he did an awesome job on that. And so poor Tillman. So he rolls a high Valkyrie score with, of all fucking people, Coyote. So Tillman has like a 6 in humanity, has been like living by, like his character Richard has been living by himself in the desert. And I want to talk about like these critical scenes real quick before I like shut up. So the end of the end of the third session, I don't think, Joaquin, were you playing in that session? I think you had to like, you didn't make it to that session, right?
I made it halfway through, I think.
Okay, yeah. And there was this creepy fucking scene where like Coyote and Richard go to like this like Cedar Creek and just like stalk this fucking home like some burglars. There's a fucking book written about it by someone about like these people who go and rob a house and just gets out of hand and people die and shit like that. I forgot the name. It's a very popular fucking books. Someone who mentioned this book to me. But you know, a game is fucked up. Like one thing I can respect about Alex in the middle, I don't know if everyone caught that in the game. I don't even know if it's in the session video. There's a moment where he's like, I gotta stop because like this is way too intense. Can you go to the other group? Do you guys remember that where Alex is like, like in the middle of all that, like he's like, I gotta recuperate because he felt like it was a challenge, dude. But that's where I feel the game hit. That scene with Richard and Coyote, and like Richard, like holy shit, like seeing what a packmate who he cares for going down that route, and then Richard realizing he had this moral kind of like high ground, I guess, that he had, and then the scene with Cora and Mitch talking about her son's death while they're setting up this trap to catch a fat guy, you know what I mean, so they could feed off him, you know what I mean? And this talk that he had of like the World War II trenches, and Cora's creepy ass fucking voice. By the way, kudos again to Slavic for Cora's voice. Like I can't even describe like the eeriness like I get whenever you do that fucking voice, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Chris. No need to be
implication. I think it's the implication of like what she has at her disposal and like the alienness and otherness to her that makes the voice just so much more like creepy because you can just imagine this old lady in your mind who's just fucked up.
Well, she's been like reborn too, you know what I mean? Like literally reborn, like a second lease of life, you know what I mean? Where like
one of my favorites to me. Love it.
Oh yeah, dude. Like definitely, because Shimizu can become very fucking stupid, dude, if not done the right way. You know what I mean? Because like pretty much everything that has been done with the Shimizu has been done as a character, and like just the brilliance of like having this old lady who was like treated, like, you know what I mean, like just had a shitty fucking life, who now is like happy that she has a second lease on life.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, the Sabbat is a cult. It is.
Yeah.
And, you know, so you have this person whose life was shit the entire time they've lived. And, you know, suddenly something changes. They join this whatever cult. And, you know, they become the most devoted, insanely zealous person ever.
Oh.
Yeah. And excuse my pun, but she totally embraced the idea of that like religious cult.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was another final critical scene with Jasper where like after Richard like had that Valkyrie and he botched his conscience roll, and when he was feeding off that guy that like was brought back from Cedar Creek, and he like was like which, by the way, man, dude, like the second arc of fucking War is not gonna be called Wars on Fire, but whatever I'm gonna call it, is gonna be fucked up, dude. Just with like the psychological fucking shit we're gonna delve into, but just like this, I think I felt that like Jasper was like this. I loved the character. I loved all the characters, man. But like, I felt Jasper was just like this. I don't know, man. Like something about Jasper. Like, first of all, he's got that just a little bit of that Herschel Buckman, not like the creepy, rapey, whatever vibe, but he has like that fucking person that's not a good person vibe. But there's times where you're like empathetic for him, dude. Like I'm sitting as a storyteller.
I have
these guys are
never
racist.
been empathetic for him at all. I don't know
No,
about like
no.
I am thoroughly freaked out by him. He is a really messed up dude, and I love it. But I've never been empathetic.
I guess, yeah, I guess that's fucked up. People would be like, "Fucking Chris is a racist asshole." No, I don't mean like. I just felt like he, like Jasper had this weird like this weird fucking evolution. They all did, but like Jasper's evolution was like there was a definite moment of doubt where he was like a doubting Thomas. You know what I mean? Like just fear, and the way that he, after he diablerized one of the banditos, and when he had, you know what I mean, just that fear and like that. I don't know that. One thing I'm gonna say about the game is that the character development in that fucking game is by far, in any vampire game I've ran, the best character development, period, point blank, ever, dude. That game went that game went from something that was just going to be something for me to give me a break from another game, into like the longest running game we've ever ran, you know what I mean, to the most character driven vampire game I've ever ran, to like exploring like shit like I never thought I would fucking explore, dude. Like this is a game where the original thing I was worried about as a storyteller was players were going to get their characters killed and get angry about, to where like Wassail became the biggest threat. You know what I mean? And people were worried about Wassail. I mean, dude, like whenever like it was
a
just
serious threat.
And there was so many like fucking scene, like dude, like that fucking scene before you guys went over the hill on the beach, and you guys had that Valdery scene in the rain. That was like so like, what the fuck is that? Like I did not see that coming. You know what I mean? And I felt like with that game as a storyteller, I also I felt like the confidence I had after Ultimate Evil, that I felt and when I knew that like that Wars wasn't just gonna, you know what I mean, at the moment where I knew I wanted to run it longer, like I wasn't afraid.
Chris, interrupt him. Interrupt him. If you need to, interrupt him.
He won't
Chris
shut
likes
up,
to talk,
ever.
and he will continue
You know
talking.
him.
Oh yeah,
You need to say
yeah.
something, Tillman. Interrupt him.
Yeah.
have to.
Stop me.
Rolling back
exactly.
the conversation
You're
about
Stop
15
being so
minutes.
polite, Tillman.
3 hours without stopping about this.
And this is
We
brought
know
to you by cold brew. Cold brew coffee is why I
Yeah,
won't
and
shut
he's
fuck
got the
up, dude.
coffee in him. Like, don't.
Yeah.
He'll be
Don't.
dead before he finishes.
So
Yeah.
Andrew reminded me in YouTube chat, Craig pointed out that he loves that Richard now in the end considers his clan weakness to be what's holding him back. And I just wanted to say I didn't plan for that in the beginning. Like I didn't know that Richard was going to end up as a Ventrue, but I had the definite plan to give him the addiction flaw, which he doesn't have, because then I just merged that into the Ventrue weakness. So immediately Richard took a different turn than I would have planned for. And I think in the beginning I was super nervous, obviously, and I struggled a bit with playing him. So I was just tagging along for a bit and figuring things out. But then I really appreciated that Ventrue and Titribu have this role of paladins in the suburb. I wanted to, follow that road and give Richard his new purpose. And in fact, it fits quite well. In the backstory, is said that Richard learned making moonshine from his father. So the implication is that Richard just does it because he's an alcoholic, but I guess, he could just buy alcohol in that case. So I think he mostly does it because it's the only purpose he has ever learned in life, and now that it was taken from him, so he needs something new. And he has these new, almost family members. Like, people that mean a lot to him through the Valkyrie, so he follows them, and it really, really messes him up.
Yeah, that tie to Coyote is
Yeah.
it's pretty intense. And you've I think didn't you get increased Valkyrie ratings from the rest of them too? Like for the
What do
second
you
or
mean?
third time? I don't
Oh,
recall
yeah.
exactly. I
Yes,
wasn't
of course.
like
I have
I
really
know it
high.
was lower in them, but it went higher or something.
I have the maximum rating for Coyote, like since day one. I now have also the maximum rating for Korra,
Oh, cool.
and I think Jasper is like on 9 out of 10, and
Yeah, so like
Mitch
you
is
love
like
these.
7 out of 10. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was getting at. Is like your Valkyrie has like definitely increased for the rest. It's not just him now. It's everybody.
No, of course not.
Yeah, dude. Like Richard. Richard's such like a tragic fucking figure, dude. You know what I mean? Like at the end of that, the whole prologue shit, like the peyote trip. Like Richard's the only person at the end of all that who was like felt like I don't know, man. Like uncertain. You know what I mean? Like weak. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh God. And it sucks to end the game on that note because you're like, fuck, I want to explore this. I want to find out more. You know what I mean? And but I think fondness makes the heart grow. You know what I mean? And I think when we do touch on the Pale Riders story again, like all these players are gonna have had time to think about how their characters change because every single fucking character in War is a deep fucking character, dude. There's no, in my opinion, no like shallow character whatsoever in that, dude. You know what I mean? That game was there was so many times that dude, there was so many times in that game where like the majority of the legwork was done by the players. Vast majority of the legwork was done by the players. Where all I simply had to do was provide a scene, set a scene, and I mean, dude, like so many of those fucking scenes. I'm just off the top of my head, like see that the fucking Korra Mitch talk, the Jasper fucking derangement role, the fucking goddamn Richard and Coyote going on their own, the fucking damn
The impromptu Valkyrie on the beach at the end there, that was a really powerful scene.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. The fucking talking with Mitch and a fucking old man, dude. The fucking Coyote getting angry that his two pack mates weren't like thought that these things that they saw in their visions were scarier than him. You know what I mean? I mean, there's more. I mean, there's tons more. You know what I mean? And it's just like fuck. That game was so good, and it, you know, I've heard a couple of people who watch your stuff, and I totally can understand where they say, I'm not comfortable with Warriors. And I get that. You know what I mean? It's a totally uncomfortable game. But, dude,
It was a game about pushing boundaries, and if that is how they felt, then I think we succeeded. So,
Yeah.
good job, you guys.
Yeah.
Y'all did great.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Well, I can't wait to see more of it.
Yeah.
Sort of
there's more to
like-
it. It's more than just a Sabat game. That's all I got to say. If you're hearing this, you haven't checked it out, watch it because you will see some awesome character development and role playing. You know what I mean? So
it was sort of, I think in the Chronicles of Darkness books on, werewolf and stuff, you have on vampire you have a game of personal horror, and werewolf you have a game of savage horror. Whereas was savage horror.
yeah,
Really.
yeah. It was savage horror with a fucking drama backdrop,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
I mean, like who said it? I think it was Craig.
It was a
who said
savage personal horror.
It was a savage personal. It was a fucked up family drama, dude. That's what I mean. Like legitimately fucked up family drama, man. And it was good.
It's like
it was
watching
so.
one of those like HBO shows.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I'm not one of those guys who's like my game should be a TV show, but fucking A, dude, War should be an HBO show, dude. Like if you're listening, like, and it's like, and it was just, and what was best about it, it was not the plan of that game when it originally was started. That's why it's really special because that game was not supposed to be that. And then when I kind of realized the game, and then one thing before we take our first break and go on to Vanity. Was the Pale Riders tackle and kill fucking method for like every like I'm gonna create this combat fucking thing and this Teleku's gonna tackle, kill it, shoot it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And it's the combat slowly and that's why I realized with the ending my point and I was saying earlier was just like I wanted to make this complex ending and Adam, if you're still listening at work, I like literally was like, Adam, does this sound stupid? Like if you're a player in this game, Adam, and I said, okay, Vidar says all this, would you feel like you got robbed? And he's like, he's like, no, I wouldn't. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, okay, cool, because I didn't want to be like, ta-da, and you guys be like, what? Like fuck y'all, dude. And then I really like doing the peyote shit. The peyote shit was fun. So other than that, like that
Chris likes
exhausted
doing
me.
peyote. You heard it here first.
Yeah,
folks.
fucking yeah, I wish,
Chris is a
dude.
junkie. He loves hallucinating. He loves peyote.
That's
Oh,
what you
yeah,
do
they-
about it in
Chris
Arizona.
loves hookers
Sorry,
and drugs.
it's the rule when you move to Arizona. You have to.
You got to do peyote,
You gotta
man.
do peyote. The rule.
Yeah,
We're gonna
you know.
Welcome
was
to
just-
Arizona.
Yeah,
Try the
Chris was
peyote.
just driving into Arizona, you know, and Quinn was just there waiting for him.
Here, my brother, it's time to do peyote. I
Just
got an
gotta
idea
wander
for a game.
do drugs. Pull a what I don't remember which episode it was, but it was like one of the first season of Breaking Bad. You know, when he's out in the desert, like in that freaking like busted down like RV trying to make drugs, and it's like filling up with gas and shit, and yeah.
So you're saying that they need to make you're saying that the Pale Riders need to make meth in their next like story arc?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Meth hasn't even been invented, has it? Like it's not even
I
a
don't-
thing yet.
Actually, I
World of
think
Darkness.
it
Oh,
existed.
yeah, it has.
Yeah,
Because like, well, we're gonna go to like
Amphetamines
a.
were used in World
yeah.
War II by the military.
Oh,
I just
okay,
watched
well,
a
I didn't
Netflix
know that.
documentary about that. Yeah, I just watched a
You know,
Netflix documentary.
my knowledge of drugs is like passing, so like
Yeah, well, that's
So
good.
I don't know if it was meth exactly, but amphetamines were used.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break, and then because I gotta pee, and then we'll come back. We'll talk. We'll
should we do it in
continue
like
this on.
parts since we're live streaming? Maybe like have some people go and we can continue talking. That kind
Yeah,
of thing.
continue talking. I'll just
Great
take a pic.
point.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I'm
people
taking.
watch it again. They don't have to like skip 5 minutes or something.
When
Yeah.
when I get back, we'll start talking about vanity. So talk about meth if you want.
And then talk about meth.
What a topic!
So I was doing meth the other day, and
Oh.
no.
So one of
I don't
the
think-
one of the things that I'm really excited for, like coming up, is just like going back a little bit, just going for the potential of the second arc in Diluted. One of the things I know I kind of teased at this. I had like an idea for what I wanted to do with the guy that Augie Gould, and one of the things I want to try and accomplish there is like I want like a rivalry of sorts. Like this guy is like angry at him for having done this, but he still feels tied to him, you know, because of the blood bond. And so like having this like this ghoul who was like deprived of like an honorable death for whatever reason, he wanted to die or something like that, you know, and like working that into the story where this guy is like slowly trying to ruin Augie's life because he just hates what he did to him, you know. I don't want him to have like, you know, this like, oh, this is my slave or whatever. I want it to be like a conflicting relationship where it's just like he loves him, but he hates him and he's trying to ruin everything about him. You know what I mean?
I like it. Yeah, you stop doing my job for me.
Well, you know, I want to
No, go ahead. Keep doing my job for me. Honestly, I just
I want to show kind of jumping on the bandwagon of what we've been sort of developing and will be developing in some of the other stories, like in TCBN, is like ghouls and how they how fucked up their life really is, you know. And like I know we're going to be highlighting that a lot in the next TCBN arc, I know, but I want to be able to bring that out undiluted and show how even in this era, like it's really, you know, something that's it's a fucked up thing to do to a person. And I want this guy, even though I saved him, to just be miserable because of it, you know.
Well, that's I do like it because I do know one of the things I do want to explore when the next arc is that for history buffs is that in the year 1848, I know Slavic mentioned this, that there were at the time there was a bunch of revolutions going on all around across the continent of Europe in the year. And so one of the things I want to touch upon is just like, yeah, like the people just sort of like, yeah, we listen to you for the government, but we're just like, I don't know if we really like how things are going right now. and it's just especially because if you look into history back, because also at the same time in 1848 there was this outbreak of cholera. So it was like disease was rampant all across the state, and back then,
And
honestly,
people are
the
getting
people
upset
who
because they're blaming the system and
yeah, exactly, and quite honestly, like like the government would eventually step in and say like, okay, we're gonna have to make some changes. Like back then, most of the time there's like disease run through the poor people. That's what happens.
yeah. I'm gonna go take a break now.
Sweet. Well, when he gets back, well, I'll start like talking about our next segment.
I'm gonna go
No.
to 1 second. Just
Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah. I'm gonna be by myself. Yes, uninterrupted cold brew views talk time. And then, like I'm gonna see the viewers drop down
no.
0. Like, so the
Sticking
next
with
go ahead.
okay, sticking with humorous for a second. The people on Discord will already know I have started pretty much the same game with my local game group, and Chris was nice enough to share a lot of his notes with me. And well, so far, not much has happened. I've gone through the introduction, and the players are currently planning to check out the Kentucky Club in Juarez and maybe confront Trevor Moreno, the Anarch leader in there. But I think it will be interesting to see how the game plays out with them. Interestingly, the character concepts are quite similar to ours. Like we have the old army vet. In my case, a Nosferatu anti-tribu with one lame leg. I have 2 Simise women. One of them Mexican, doesn't know English, at least not very well. The other one, a young American woman working originally for the military. Yes, the German R.
Richtig.
We got to roll the R.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
And then I have, probably my favorite concept, I have a teenager boy Bruja who's just young enough to not be drafted for the military. And I love him.
Yeah, I look forward to like checking that out, and I look forward to hearing when you do the second session, man. I'm fucking hella stoked for that, dude, and I can't wait to check it out. Like hear it, more about it, because like it's weird reading it. It's like out of body reading about someone else running your fucking game that you ran. You know what I mean? And it's like, ooh, and I'm like sitting there like I want to see like how it turns out with something else, dude. So I think that was awesome. It was funny too. And before we go on to Vanity about the notes, like I do these notes. But then I felt like maybe like the last third of that game, I didn't need notes. You know what I mean? I didn't even need the notes about the final thing. I had notes about the final thing, but I didn't need them because I've like sat there and thought about it over and over and over again. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I gotta get back to note taking for Twin Cities by Night. But okay, so we're gonna jump in and talk about Vanity. So Adam, who is not with us today, who played Wayne Coleman and the Ultimate Evil. This dude loves to talk about Chronicles of Darkness games, man. He legitimately loves Chronicles of Darkness. He likes all white bullshit, but like he literally talks about these games a lot in a good way. And Adam by far is perhaps, and you guys are all nice, but Adam is like by far the most polite fucking dude in the world. Yeah. Adam is, and I've been listening to re-editing our podcast. I was listening to Ultimate Evil, where Adam, out of character, apologized to Andrew out of character for having his character maybe smoke weed in his Jeep without asking in character if it was okay to smoke weed.
Yeah,
in
I was
his
just like,
Jeep.
what? Like, why are you apologizing?
He's such a nice dude, man. Super nice guy. But anyway, so he was just like, I want to run Change in the Lost. I want to run a game set in like 1990s, early 1990s, Fort Lauderdale. And I was like, all right, cool, man. You know what I mean? So when Diluted ended, we started running that game. And we just finished the third session of it. We had that magical third session where I say everyone starts like, you know what I mean? clicking with their characters and everything like that. And it's a fun ride for me as a player because A, I get to play again, which is nice. I get to rest, and B, it's a new system. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, we're all learning like new mechanics and like just like a new whole like supernatural type, that's so different and um has a whole different feel from any of the other types of World of Darkness games, whether it's the classic games or the new games. Changeling is just so unique.
I think Changeling is perhaps one of the most horrific One World of Darkness or Chronicles of Darkness games. It's fucking scary, dude. You're kidnapped by a fucking god who can do anything they want to you, and then they're living in
They
fear.
twist your body and turn you into this like monster, and your soul is torn to shreds. And when you finally make it back and escape, you're living in this paranoid like state of existence, wondering if they're ever going to come back and take you, or if maybe they'd let you go, or did you really escape? And you're just banding together with all these other people who are just as badly scarred. It's it's a psychological horror. It's great.
Yeah, and I feel like one thing that I'm loving about the game is I feel that I mean, dude, I say this not in a pretentious way, but I just feel like we're so comfortable playing with each other now. You know what I mean? In these different games that like we are not afraid to try like new concepts. You know what I mean? Does it make sense? Like be experimental with concepts in these games, and so it's like not saying our shit's high art. I'm not trying to fucking imply that. I'm just saying that like like we have two dudes now who are playing females, which is a big challenge in role-playing games. You know what I mean? With doing it tastefully.
For some it is.
For some it is, but you know what I mean? But they're two. My point being,
I did not. Whoa! I did not mean that in a pretentious way. Don't you guys start snickering at me?
Yeah, exactly. We are not pretentious in this group. I just want to keep. Maybe we are. Is that why we keep saying like we're not, but we are?
I don't know about you, but I feel that my art has been so.
No, all I meant by that is that some people find the challenge of playing the opposite sex a little bit more difficult than others because they can't empathize with them as well, and other people can better. It's people are different, and your experiences make it easier for you to role play certain types of concepts. So, I don't have a problem with role playing the character that I'm playing.
Yeah, but like each of our 4 female characters, A, have not been like negative stereotypes, and B, have been individually each fucking different. And then I was like, oh, well, women are different. And I get that. What I'm saying though is a bunch of guys playing nerd games. You know what I mean? You would think the tendency would be 4 fucking dudes fucking up females and doing them in a horrible way. But instead, they're 4 very different characters who are very fucking unique in their own way, who are played very differently. You know what I mean? You have everything from, and they're people. Exactly, dude. And they're good fucking characters. Like, I am blown away by every character in our game. But like Andrew and Tillman, like your female characters are so totally polar opposite, dude. But it's not in a like a I'm the good girl, I'm the bad girl, like not in those kind of ways. But it's like you play. I mean, and this isn't like an insult to Isabel, but you play a character who's obviously scared shitless. You know what I mean? Who tries to cover it up with physical. You know what I mean? And gets like self-esteem from that. But like, dude, like Tillman, the way you're playing fucking Katrina, like this meek female in a way, with this like. That at the end of that last session when you said she started crying, I did not see that coming as a player. I was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like I did not like. I thought you'd get angry and like argue with me, and I was like, I don't know. I'm having fun with that Changeling game, and Raymond's not Herschel Buckman, so don't you go there. I mean, maybe he's a dick, you know what I mean? But he's not a fucking Herschel Buckman at all, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I feel like I'm really happy with that shit, and I feel like Adam is like killing it as a storyteller, dude. Like he's getting more.
Yeah, he's great.
I can't wait to kind of like delve more into the courts and how each one has like this like emotion tied to them, and just kind of unleash the fury of the summer court upon Raymond, making so and so.
I'm so scared as a player to like have Isabel cheat me out, dude. Because I'm like, then I'm the whole time I'm gonna be like, calm down. The worst thing you could say, like, calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. You know, like no, like. But
one thing that I really like about us as a group is that we, especially in Changeling, don't really just rely on our disciplines or contracts or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's not just about the
like
powers.
power game through it. Like we could have walked up to this Charlie guy and like used Wayne Glory and like commanded him to follow us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have been a thing.
Well,
5 second
exactly.
scene. Let's move on.
Let's move
So-
on.
And regarding Katrina, like that was another happy accident that she turned out to be the polar opposite, or at least in some ways, of Isabel. Andrew and I actually chose very similar traits, but made very different characters. So we both have the what's
Yeah, I
it
know
called?
initially we
Angelic
were-
looks
Yeah.
merit.
The one that makes you like super like beautiful or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
basically like they took out the appearance stat and gave you like this merit you
Exactly.
could take. But yeah, you originally were kind of like, well, oh, you wanted to go for this fairest, and I'm like, yeah, but we can both do it. Don't worry about it. Like, just make a character. It's fine. And
Yeah.
I like how it turned out. I'm glad that we stuck to our guns and made our characters our way. And
Yeah, me too.
they're different and still able to show the merits of that the fairest. You know, we both are fairest. We both definitively are that, but at the same time, we're so different from each other.
Well, yeah. I mean, and then like Frank, dude, it's like I didn't
Frank-
know. I didn't. To be honest with you, I didn't. I just was like, how are we gonna?
I'm
fit this
building up
in?
to the horror. Okay.
But you
I
are
know
though. You're
that
doing a
he
good job.
Seems cutesy and stuff, but you know, I've just counted it, and once he gets angry, he's just gonna. It's gonna be big. Like
Yeah.
I can see like the tension slowly building
Yeah.
actually with him. There's like times where you're just like, you're like, oh, my fists will do worse than a gun. It's like, oh, it's like foreshadowing almost, Like,
yeah.
you hear these things, these comments that Frank's make, and you're like, he seems so nice, but like there's this darkness in him that it's gonna come
Yeah.
out. I love it.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted. Like, I was gonna bring up dealing with Frank was, and also a compliment to Adam, especially this last session. Like these little reveals that Adam does in the most inconspicuous way about how Fort Lauderdale isn't as fucking great as we're thinking it is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
that scene in the bayou where
Tony
that was-
Soprano. Yeah.
like that, just leaving it to the imagination where none of us knew exactly what was happening, but like he's describing how you hear the sound of crashing and like yelling that you can't quite make out, and then like he comes back and he's just like chill and like, yeah, it's all right. I had to explain some things to him. It's like,
And you're what? Yeah.
oh fuck.
Exactly. I was sitting there like, what the fuck? And then you're like wondering, is he sincere to Frank? You know what I mean? Or is
Yeah.
he like just molding Frank as like this weapon? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like
And
he
there's,
sees Frank as like this tool.
Yeah. And then Frank asks these very astute questions though. Did you pick it up about Frank? Like he'll like ask these like very like in very few words in that World of Warcraft 2 peon voice, ask like what did they do wrong? You know what I mean? Like and you're like get this sense that in Frank's mind, he's like putting this information here, putting this it's like a jigsaw puzzle. And I just hope that Raymond's face isn't the picture that's being put together, because it's like you keep asking like these very like minute questions, and it's like, what kind of conclusion is he coming to in his mind? And don't tell me what he is, because I want to find out. Like if I have to find out the hard way, I'll find out the hard way. But like,
I don't think anyone really truly hates Raymond. You don't have to worry about
Yeah.
that.
oh yeah, I know.
No,
Well,
I think at least I clung to Raymond as a character because he was so active in session 2. Like
yeah,
that,
and I felt bad about that too, by the way.
No, that wasn't really a problem. It gave us something to work with.
Yeah. It's
So
more that
that's why Katrina is so into Raymond, because he seemed so very into their task.
he's engaged.
Like- Yes.
Well, because Raymond, like literally before like Vanity happened in Fort Lauderdale, Raymond was like just an inconspicuous person, and no pun intended, was a gray man, wasn't noticed. Didn't stand out for being bad, didn't stand out for
What was the
being
point of
good.
being the like, what do you call him? The shadow. What are they?
Yeah,
called?
yeah. The seeming I am, but the thing that why Raymond is so active now is because he's scared. He's like fucking scared, and he hates. I mean, I don't know if anyone picked this up in the character creation session, but Raymond was like sexually abused for like however long that he was gone there by these horrendous monsters. You know what I mean? After he fucking murdered his wife and was in the process of hiding her body in a fit of rage. You know what I mean? And so he
Yeah.
has his and his daughter, he lost track of her. And so he has like all this like guilt and fucking sexual abuse, harm, PTSD shit. And so that's why his anger comes out, and that's why all this, you know what I mean? And that's why
Yeah,
he's
you
like
know,
so
in
adamant.
retrospect, that makes sense that he's more empathetic with in that one scene where you were walking with when you were walking with Isabel, whenever she was telling you about like what
Mhm.
happened to her, like that makes sense in retrospect that you were kind of empathetic with her, like, oh shit, I didn't realize like she experienced the exact same thing. She was
Yep.
used all this time, and that's why she turned out the way she is. She just reacted differently.
Yeah. And that's why he had wanted Katrina like to talk to you. It was a pussy move on his end too. Like he was scared, but also like he understands that, you know what I mean? Like an intense male. Yeah, an intense male can come across, you know what I mean, wrong to someone like that. But that game, dude, he's killing it, dude. And what makes me happy, Adam's like, we finally just got through the first day. Like that means there's more of this. You know what I mean? Is this like,
Oh
and I'm
yeah.
just so, and like the little hint about the drugs too, you know what I mean? And like you see how weak a lot of these changelings are. They're just weak. They're like fucking weak, torn, tragic figures, you know what I mean? And then it makes me wonder, is Manny an asshole who's just taking advantage of it, or is he like a sincere guy or whatever? And I'm excited to find out, man. I legitimately am, dude. And this again is a reformation that I'm so fucking happy that like other people are running games now. And we'll talk about this later on a little bit more, but I'm happy about that because it's like, A, it's a weight off my shoulders. And dude, it like running fucking, what was I running there? 2 games at once, and then Twin Cities by Night wrapping that up and knowing that, you know what I mean? Like that was just like, it just was a lot, dude, to handle, you know what I mean, at that time. So it's really cool now
Okay,
that
Chris,
like,
we're gonna need you to run 3 more games simultaneously.
yeah,
We're gonna recruit
yeah,
about
yeah.
15 more players, and
Our
you have to
sponsor
bounce
Star
all of
Wars
it.
has said we have at least
Yeah.
one gaming episode per day.
Yeah,
So
and
we have to
on
meet
top of
that
that,
quota.
they need to be intertwined. You need to incorporate all the plots together. So
Oh, fuck. Will I get free
Wild
cold
of
brew?
Darkness.
like that's the question, yeah. Mm. But anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Vanity is a cool game. We obviously can't talk too much about it at the moment because it's only in this 3rd session, but we're all having fun. And dude, check that shit out, folks. Changing the Lost is a dope ass game. And I can't wait till Adam gets done with Changing the Lost because I know he's gonna run like Hunter or Demon or Geist or any of those Chronicles of Darkness games
Don't
that he
play
I
fucking
don't think he'll run
plays
Demon.
guys
Like
so
Yeah.
much.
talks about Demon a lot, but he's always like, no, I don't want to run Demon. I want to play it.
yeah. We'll have to see. Maybe it is. And there's gonna be tons of games on this channel, which is awesome because we all have these ideas behind the scene that we talk about. So, talk about new games that are going to be starting. Twin Cities by Night Dread is going to be starting up here fucking next Sunday, dude. We're going to be playing Twin Cities by Night again, man. Holy shit balls. It's been a fucking year, dude. And we are coming. Like, I am now, as a storyteller, taking all the shit I learned with Ultimate Evil and all the shit I learned playing in Dread or excuse me, playing in Diluted, all the shit I learned fucking running Wars and the shit that I'm learning in fucking Vanity. And I'm coming full circle back to like what started this all, man. You know what I mean? Like legitimately what started this all. And man, am I excited. Not only do we have like fresh blood infused into the game with the addition of Andrew and his character Lenny, and then with Mitch and his Tremere that he's throwing in there.
I
But
like how you call him Mitch, even though it's not. Like,
yeah, okay, that's
his
a good
name
point.
has become associated with like the character.
Yeah, so we have 2 Adams in our group. We have Adam the Changeling Adam, whose last name starts with a C, and then we have Adam B, who's Mitch, who's Alexei, who's all this shit. But we just call him Mitch because it's like I got tired of in the Ultimate Evil going Adam B and Adam C. I say it in the intro of the podcast, you know what I mean? But just in passing, we call him Mitch because it just sticks, I guess, you know what I mean? Funny story about Mitch. Mitch told me, Adam, whatever. Mitch told me that when he was thinking of the concept of Mitch the character, that he got caught at work practicing his voice. Like someone like overheard him sitting there being like, gruff old man and all this shit. And they're like, what are you doing over there? He's like, sorry. You know what I mean? It's like fucking,
I talk to myself all the time.
yeah.
Don't worry, I did the same thing when I was in elementary school. Same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, there you go. But Dread is gonna be exciting, man. Like I just, for those of you who don't know, it's like the middle point of the story. and just having this new blood pushed in and new characters like two Nosferatu and a Tremere, which are clans that haven't been played yet and haven't really been focused on NPC wise. I mean, Jenna, the Tremere NPC was kind of focused on a little bit, but I mean, you got to think about we're coming to a game right now where like this sense of dread is being built up, and I'm really fucking excited for it. And what I hope to accomplish for it is I hope we take what we did with like Juarez and just like let it be even more character development than before. And so now, like, especially I'm excited to see like Joaquin and Slavic take like these two characters that were their first characters they ever played and now come also with the new perspectives that they've picked up, you know what I mean, through these other games, and be like able to expand on stuff more. Because as a storyteller, I really didn't leave much room for character development in a lot of those games, because to be honest, the first Negligence was kind of railroady, you know what I mean? And I would even say that Homecoming was somewhat railroady, you know what I mean? And so I just really want like a chance now. Of course there's gonna be a plot, of course there's gonna be a story, but really just dive into this shit, you know what I mean? And come back to this game that that is special to me, you know what I mean? And I think that we're gonna do it. I think that we're going to do it justice. I really do. You know what I mean? And the good thing is I don't feel pressure anymore with running these games. You know what I mean? Like I don't like. I'm trying to make it to where
you want is to feel like you have like some kind of like
Obligation.
Obligation is exactly what I was gonna say. It's like you have some kind of obligation that you have to fulfill or whatever. Just you're doing it for fun, and
Yep.
that's what matters.
Yeah, and I have that itch to run it. Like, yeah, it's the right time because I'm excited to run it again. So really excited for that. So that's gonna start next Sunday. So that's gonna be fucking awesome. I'm so fucking excited. I'm just like excited
for me as a player to go from Jasper to go back to being Kaitao. Like, wait, I have morals now.
Yeah. Going back to being this like character who's humane and driven through just more.
How much humanity does Jasper have left? I know William has fairly low now.
I think Jasper
William
was
has
3.
or talking about Katal.
Sorry,
Okay,
yes,
Kaitao.
Kaitao.
I think he has 5. So
Oh,
not
yeah.
quite.
Oh,
the
that
highest,
means
but-
actually that you have the same as William, I think.
William botched the role.
Yeah,
He
that was
botched the role.
that was the thing.
As a storyteller for and I have to say this, and as a storyteller for Twin Cities by Night, I do have an apology to make to Joaquin and William, because when I ran Twin Cities by Night, I was constantly nervous because, like, for those of you who don't know, like, this channel was not started, like, this game, 20 Cities by Night, was not started with the intent of it being like a quote unquote actual play where like we were just going to share it to everyone. What originally we were recording our shit for, and Slavic and I were talking about this earlier today, we were recording it to view it again so we could have a reference if we had questions in game. We actually almost did not record it because Slavic and I couldn't figure something out in Google Hangouts, and we almost said fuck it, and we just won't record it, and we ended up like figuring it out. But there came a point where like I was sharing it, and I'm not gonna fucking lie, dude. Being a content creator, you want people to see your shit and get feedback, you know what I mean? And you want to hear what they like about it. I'm sorry for anyone who says, oh, I share our stuff and I don't care if I hear like positive things. That's bullshit, you know what I mean? Because there's a little dopamine hit you get when someone says, hey, I enjoy it, and it feels good. Now there's taking that to the extreme and like, you know what I mean, like give me gratification and being pompous. No, it's not that at all. But there's also nervousness when you first start doing that I felt the whole time through Twin Cities by Night, like the first 2 arcs. Like, is this gonna bomb? Is this gonna like, is this kind of corny? Is this whatever? And I felt that took away from me appreciating what some of the players put out on the table, that now I am I've recently picked up again, re-editing our podcast. For those of you who don't know, I went and re-edited our podcast to get rid of a lot of the side talk that happens to see get rid of like a lot of the side talk, because we're at like a lot of technical difficulties. The dice roll, you remember Dice Stream? Fucking horrible app. All this shit that we did that would take up time, and I went and edited it out. But dude, when you listen to the podcast version, for those of you who've only listened to our video shit, I cannot stress enough, dude, listen to the podcast version. Listen to the podcast, because there's shit that you will not pick up that like I did not pick up when running it, dude. I never picked up the shit that fucking Katao said sometimes under his breath, or that like his reactions to other people's shit, or the shit that like the Williams voice and the way that like even Slavic like took what he did with like Cora and all these other characters. Michael, by the way, who like holy shit, the way that Slavic did Michael is fucking awesome too. But you never pick up that shit. You know what I mean? And I've noticed it now, so kudos to you guys, and I can't wait to come back to these characters and just like really appreciate, you know what I mean, what like I did with Ultimate Evil and Juarez, you know what I mean, as a storyteller, and now not being so nervous and now being able to focus more on the story and all that stuff. So I'm super excited. I'm totally different storyteller now than I was then, you know what I mean, and I'm excited for that. So it's really awesome. I see cool to see more Kindred Society. Yeah, more Kindred Societies going to get brought out in the open. In case you guys didn't pick that up, dude, with the end of the second story arc, there's going to be 3 Malkavians now have went from a clan of 1 to 3 or 1 to 4.
There's been some changes in the city that's
There's
been
been some
much
changes in
stagnant
some
for like
city.
the last
Yeah.
2-3 decades.
Fucking the seneschal of, oh no, excuse me, the primogen of the fucking Ventu clan now own a boon to fucking Katao and William. There's tons of shit going on. The fucking Nosferatu now are starting to creep out, and you're going to see a whole different perspective of Twin Cities by Night now, because guess what? We have 2 Nosferatu players and one who's a legitimate Nosferatu who's there to find out information and shit like that. You're going to see more of the Tremere. You're going to obviously, you got a fucking insane character right now, you know what I mean, who's like here in the primordial ocean and shit, dude. And it's like, I'm telling you guys, and for those of you who don't know, War is on Fire is a tie-in to Twin Cities by Night. These are all telling the same story. It's all getting to the same point. You know what I mean? And before we continue on, one final thing is and I think I'm pretty much sold on the fact that the 4th Twin Cities by Night story arc is going to be a Ghouls game. It's going to be a Ghouls Fatal Addiction game, which will open up more avenues.
As long as you don't make me play Coach Olsen, please, God, no.
Oh no! I will make you go. Yeah. No.
I made a concept that disgusted me absolutely.
Dude,
I did
talk
not
about-
make him with the intent to play him. Please
That's
don't.
That's why you got to do what Kaito did. Just make your ghouls dogs. Just
Yeah. No. Yeah,
So-
like
so
You
much
had-
less heartache, so much
What?
less emotions. Just
let your dog went in there and mauled a dead
Oh,
body in your
oh,
bathtub.
come on.
Yeah.
a dead body,
Yeah.
person. Come on, this really.
You know,
Would you rather
yeah.
I mean, sure, one could eat you, but
I think I hold my head up with fucking pride that, and I'm pretty hard on myself as a storyteller, dude, but I hold my head up with pride because I think that Twin Cities by Night is a personal horror vampire game, dude. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it is, and I'm excited to get back to that.
We'll
So
bring some more of that out in the next.
dude,
arc.
Coach
We all
Olsen,
got our ways.
Coach Olsen, Valentine's fucking BTK killer, fucking
Mhm.
goddamn ghoul. You know what I mean? Fucking and I'm a horrible storyteller. I can't remember fucking Mitch's character's name, but it's all like Norwegian.
Warren.
and shit. Warren, yeah, Warren's fucking like not being able to use aspects unless he does some like sensory deprivation, self-torture shit. Like it's all like going to be fucking fun, and I'm really excited for you guys to be able to see it. So, on another note, talking about stories, I think you might want to take the helm, Andrew, at the moment.
Huh?
Oh, Mike the bassist, dude, come on, bro. Thank you, Mike the bassist. I appreciate that, but dude, like, you're gonna make me fucking feel awkward. For those of you who don't know, and I don't even want to read that out loud, but Mike the bassist, I saw what you said, and that's really rad. But like, and it feels good, but like, I'm like, yeah, that's cool, dude. But I'm not gonna read it out loud because I feel awkward.
You're so humble.
And I just
accept the praise. Say thank
yeah.
you. Move on. Chris
Thank
is
you.
really bad about this, guys. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I get fucking awkward, dude, which is weird, man. But then I'm always like, give my videos a thumbs up. You know what I mean? Which is
Thank
fucking-
you.
It's like yeah, thank you, sir. That really means a lot to hear, and I appreciate that.
You're
so,
talking about
Andrew,
the announcement that we're gonna make.
the announcement. We have a big announcement.
Yeah.
Should we do? We'll do your announcement, and then we'll do the contact winner, and then we'll talk some more after that. But contest winner. But what's your announcement, Andrew?
Okay, so I'm going to be running a game on the channel. It's a Hunters Hunted 2 game called Hunters Hunted 2 Corruption. And we'll be playing, as you can imagine, hunters. The players will be normal humans. Normal. I mean, they all have some kind of, thing against vampires, and just kind of exploring the more human side of things, and a little bit more lighthearted and less serious than some of the other games. The goal was to try to give an outlet. I know that the original intention with with Juarez to just to be a little bit more fun, and it developed into a really serious game. So just letting you guys go crazy with the concepts and just having a good time. And so that's going to be running alongside the same time with the other games. We're instead of the 2 games at a time that we've been doing, we're going to be having 3 games, 3 a month going up. So look forward to that. First game is going to be on what date was that we said? Is it
Late
the 15th?
April. Oh, is it late or middle April?
It was either 15th or the 29th. I don't
think it was
remember
the
exactly.
29th. Yeah, it'll be on our schedule on our Discord, or or we'll put it on Twitter. But definitely, yeah, like in April is the character creation session.
We'll do a character creation session. Yeah, I'm having the guys who are playing. Not everyone's going to be able to make it, obviously. Some people can't commit to the time. That's fine. Everybody will be. I need everyone to give me like a name and a basic concept, and then we're going to get together for a character creation session and just like from scratch build characters from the ground up all together. And I have like a method that I've done with my own group that works really well. And yeah, it'll be my first time running a game on YouTube. Not my first time running a game at all, but my first time running a game on YouTube. I've not done anything like that, like in the public eye. So I'm a little bit nervous about it, but we'll see.
You know, you can't get drunk when you're writing the game, right? Just for the record.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I could.
Like Ultimate Evil.
I
remember
fucking this game where I was drinking. We're gonna release that video actually.
Oh,
yeah.
dude. Oh, dude.
That's gonna be good.
we gotta keep that secret. You can't talk about that one. Can't talk about that one.
Well,
no, but
okay. So with this one, yeah, trust me, I got this. I can drink and play a game if I want to.
Okay, that's cool. Matt, for the record, I never knew that Andrew was drunk in those 2 Ultimate Evil sessions until like 6 months later. He's like, "Oh yeah, I was totally drunk." Like, get the fuck out of here, were you? And he's like, "Yeah, I was like drunk." I'm like, "Dude, I could not tell you were fucking drunk, man." So that was awesome. One thing I'm excited for Hunters x Hunters 2 Corruption is you plan, and you haven't told me, but you've kind of hinted that you plan to use like some legit Vampire the Masquerade canon in the DC area, right?
Yeah. So I've been reading DC by Night, and kind of getting a feel for like what the canon says about the setting and everything. And like my initial idea was to use that setting without any knowledge of it at all. I'm like, I'll just do my own thing. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe it'll have some ideas and stuff. And what I had in mind is Putin. What I had in mind was it fits within it just fine. So
Nice.
I'll use the book as like a reference, but I'll make up shit if I need to. And so yeah, if it's gonna be set in Washington D.C. and you guys are gonna be playing mortals who are
Wackos.
vampire hunters and probably psychotic.
Yeah. I'm loving
you kind of have to be crazy to be a normal mortal who like kills vampires. You have to be crazy.
Yeah. And I don't want to say anything about the concepts because that's going to be covered in the character creation session, but we have some interesting ones. And for now, it's Tillman, me, Mitch, and Adam playing in it. I think Joaquin, you're kind of like not sure yet. Joaquin is still deciding whether or not. Yeah, he's on the fence.
If you have the time and you want to join, we'd be glad to have you.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
If
you
not,
can play a crazy guy. We all know that. We've all seen it. Yeah.
What do you mean? Have you suggesting I've done some?
Look, if you want, I did say true faith is totally allowed. So.
Oh my God.
Just say it.
Yeah. Watch
it's
this game.
Be that type of game.
Bring in Father Callahan.
Yeah, next March. Yeah, Father Callahan. Woohoo! Salem's Lot. Next March we'll be talking about this is the deepest game we ever ran with the most dramatic. Like it starts off. We're gonna be like, this is some high art Shakespearean lore. It's tragic figures. I'm like, yeah, right. Right now we're all goofy.
I do want it's got to be somewhat serious. Obviously, you guys are expected to roll.
I think it's gonna be somewhat dark at least.
I think it's gonna be dark.
I think we're incapable of not making it dark.
That's for sure.
Exactly.
Y'all make everything fucked up. You're gonna come to the table with all these freaking concepts that are so twisted. I'm gonna be like, what's the even point of my story if they provide me with this?
Y'all making me go to hell. That's what we're talking about. Before we announce the contest winners, I want to talk about 2 other things that we started on the channel. is one and I totally forgot to bring these up, was the Brian Diaries, which we're obviously doing here. That's something that like a podcast interview thing that we started where and it's gonna continue to go on where I'll interview a new content creator who deals with White Wolf stuff and kind of like use it as them to explain to us certain aspects of like the scene. We've done one with Chaz where you talk from Capnated Conquest, who was talking about V5 because he did a test bed of V5 on their channel. We did one with Josh Heath where he's talking about the storyteller, what they call that shit? The storyteller's
Vault.
Storyteller's Vault. And then we had my buddy Brendan talk about horror in the world of darkness from Full Metal RPG.
That was a
Our
really
next
good
one,
episode, by the way. Just if you guys haven't listened to it, go check it out. They're all
Brendan,
good. That one I really enjoyed.
I'm gonna be on Full Metal RPG, dude. Fucking recording it next Saturday, man. We're like, I'm gonna be talking to those guys about horror and games and shit like that. So it's like a cross thing, which is gonna be fun. And then next in April we'll be interviewing someone from the, what's their official name, the ST Spira crew or the New York by Night crew, or they're doing New Orleans by Night right now.
I guess they go by Storyteller Spira.
Yeah, Storyteller Spira, about running games on Twitch, World of Darkness games on Twitch, because
it's a pretty unique perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm going to be reaching out, and I hope he's listening, but to the gentleman who hosts the Esoteric Order of Role Players about running duet games. So I'll have to reach out to him still, but I haven't yet because that's still a few months. And then also I started one other thing too, called the Brian Book Club. Oh my God. And if you guys haven't picked up why we call shit Brian, I'm not going to fucking tell you, dude. If you haven't picked it up yet, you're just not cool enough to know. And that ain't me being pretentious as fuck, dude.
The Gentleman Gamer is going to be joining you for one of those, right?
Dude, right. I know, right? So here,
Matthew
I originally,
Dawkins.
yeah, Matthew talk. I was originally just like, fuck it. Okay, so originally I was like, I want to talk about like, because actually I think it was Brendan from Full Metal RPG who was like mentioned something like that in passing, and I was like, oh, let me see what I can do, and I did the first one on, fuck, dude, I'm coming to a brain fart. I forgot which one, first one I did. Oh, Wormwood by Poppy Z Bright. But my premise was like, take a book, do a 10, 15, 20-minute video, talk about a book, a horror book, and how it can, if you read it, you can get what influences you can get from to run World of Darkness games. And like I said, did Poppy Z Bright's Wormwood, I did Bret Easton Ellis's American Psycho, and I just recently did Alan Moore's From Hell. And I put a thing on I was like, okay, I was like, and I talked to you guys about it. I was like, would it come across as me being like, hey, do shit for my channel, assholes? You know, like I wanted to like ask other content creators. I thought it'd be cool to be like, hey, I like this book. This is how I'm inspired from it. And I was like, how can I go about asking that without coming across as like looking like a retard? So I made a post on Twitter, and fucking White Wolf retweeted it. And next thing I know, fucking like Matthew Dawkins, the Gentleman Gamer's like, I'd be interested. And he's like, I'm like, what? Like, oh, did not expect it to have that effect at all. So I like woke up one morning, I'm like, what the fuck's this shit? Looking on my phone before I jumped in the shower to go to work, you know?
Totally fanboyed out. He was just having a
fanboyed out. And we actually, Josh Heath recorded one that's gonna be released on Saturday for HP Lovecraft's Necromonicon short story collection, which is really awesome. Thank you, Josh. That one will be released on Saturday. And so yeah, check those out. That's something that he has it. Look at, he's pulling it out. You're going to hell. He's playing, and oh shit, there you go. Yeah, so yeah, definitely. We have some HP Lovecraft fans, which is cool. So, all right, we had a contest on our Discord. By the way, visit our Discord. Shameless plug. Why is it a plug? We don't get anything for it, dude. That's the thing. That's like, come to our Discord, so we could talk. And we had this contest where we were gonna have people create
non-player
characters, yeah. And for Twin Cities by Night Dread, or just the Twin Cities by Night, I guess, continuity, because there's gonna be more after Dread. And we officially have decided the winner is everyone who created an NPC that for this story we're going to have in the game. So you guys who are watching who have created an NPC and were awesome enough to do it, I just thought it was cool that you guys even took the time to watch or listen to our shit seriously, and B, took the time to be like, hey, I want to add to that story. So I thought at first we were originally going to roll a dice to randomly pick someone, and I'm like, you know what, dude, like I love all these fucking concepts that I read, and I can utilize all of them.
We really enjoyed all of the different concepts that were presented, and the diversity there, and how there's so many different ways they can be integrated. So Chris is like, let's use them all. Okay, you're the one doing all the work, man. Go for it.
Yeah,
Bet
definitely.
you didn't see that coming, did you, audience?
Yeah, I know, right? Twists what we do, you know. So what do we have to look forward to in 2009? Well, our next year, right? So Dread, we have fucking Hunters 2, corruption. I almost called it conspiracy again. I made a thumbnail and put conspiracy instead of corruption when I originally made it. Then we have the Changeling Lost game, and potentially, and I don't want to like, you know what I mean, say anything, but potentially other games that are going to be ran this next year. Slavic's World of Darkness. I guess we'd call it Chronicles of Darkness, Dark Eras, Inferno game.
Yeah, I
which is
guess
gonna-
you could call it that.
Do you want us to tell us a little bit about just like you know what I mean, the kind of like the theme
Well,
real quick?
just the sort of basic teaser thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be set during the Hussite Wars, during, I guess, one of the Crusades led against the Hussites. I'm not yet sure which time period I'll choose, and because there's obviously a lot of stuff happening during that time, so it's important to pick the right time. And basically, there'll be, well, I was thinking probably there'll be 4 players. 2 of playing normal. They will be playing mortal characters. They'll be actually possessed by a demon, each of them. And the other 2 players will be playing the demons, sort of like Wraith. And, the demons will be able to bargain. They'll be able to bargain with the demons. The demons will be able to whisper in their ears, give them power, and take something in return. Things like that. And really excited for it.
Hell
That's
yeah.
interesting. Okay. So like
Yeah.
like you said with like Wraith, where there's
Yeah.
2 people playing the same character, sort of, but like different parts of them.
Yep, exactly. It's gonna be rad, man. I'm excited about that. And then after Dread, if Dread wraps up in this year, which I don't know, I don't want to call that shot yet, but if it does, the next story arc I'll be running is the next Ultimate Evil story, which I already have like fucking planned out in my head, would just drive me absolutely batshit bonkers, dude. That I got it like already all figured out, and this is like we're waiting to be ran. But what do they say? Well, we keep saying, what do you guys always tell me, man? Whenever I want to run like 5 games at once, like fondness makes the heart grow, whatever. Fucking
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
there you go. That's all they keep telling me, and I'm like, okay, I'll wait. You know what I mean? But and then we'll probably have a 3rd game, but I don't know what it is. But there's ideas that everyone's have had for 3rd games. It's not like no one doesn't have an idea. It's just we haven't figured out after Hunters Hunted 2 what the fuck's gonna be ran after that. But we're gonna have like 3 games going at once. So when we figure something like that out, we'll let you guys know. So a couple more things before we wrap it up. One thing that I'm happy about this year is podcasts. We branched out into the podcast kind of, I hate to say market, but medium. We went into the podcast medium, and I'm really surprised how many new viewers or listeners we've brought in because of us expanding into podcasts. That was one thing that I constantly heard all the time when we were just doing YouTube. Hey, do you have a podcast version? I'm like, no. And then like I ripped our shit and put it on podcast version without like really knowing how to edit shit. And then I went back and listened to it one day, and I was like, oh my God, like I got to go edit the shit. So we did like new intros to our stuff, and we've done like we've done stuff like that, so podcast thing is awesome. Our Discord, whatever, Twitter, whatever. I'm tired. Coffee's wearing off. You know what I mean? I'm ready to like start prepping for Twin Cities by Night Dread.
You went from super chattery to like just like whatever.
I need more cold brew. Starbucks sponsor. Give me cold brew. Do you guys have anything to say about the year or the future year before we wrap up? I'll just go left to right. Andrew, do you got any thoughts about our coming year or any thoughts in general before we wrap it up?
I'm just excited about playing through in Dread and exploring the concepts there with the ghouls and just the new layers of horror we're going to unravel, and running a Hunters Hunted 2 game. That'll be unique. It's really cool to look forward to,
Awesome. What about you, Joaquin?
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Twin Cities. Sorry, guys.
What were you saying? Okay, no, go ahead.
No, I was just checking our schedule and was like, Dread is in 1 week? What?
Yeah. I'm telling you, bro.
It's just hitting you. We just said that a little while ago, and it's just now hitting you.
Dude,
Yeah.
we are going to be playing Twin Cities by Night again. I'm so fucking stoked. But go ahead, Joaquin. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry. Dig out your character sheet for William.
Yeah. I actually took a look at it right now, and I actually have 4 humanity, not 5. It's even more monstrous. I blame you, Katao. You're the murderer. I just watched.
Coyote's like, hold my beer, bro.
And Jasper's like, please.
Yeah. So what about you, Joaquin?
So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to going back to the Twin Cities by Night just because it's a return to our roots, so to speak. And then we just in to see like all the different stuff we're going to explore, and then like maybe a diluted part 2. Maybe who knows what's
Dude,
gonna
we
happen.
could do that after Hunter's Hunted, bro. I am so fucking ready. I am making a Malkavian that's not gonna suck, dude. And I'm gonna fucking try to not make it suck. So I'm excited, man. So I keep thinking about it, but anyways, I'm rambling. But yes, please. All right. What about you, Mr. Slavic? What any thoughts before we wrap up for the coming year or anything in general?
Well, just we hope you keep enjoying your stuff, guys, and keep an eye out next month for a surprise video.
Yeah, dude, you're talking about like in 2 weeks, but we aren't gonna be like we keep talking about.
That was so long ago too.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Oh, it's good. Everyone's like, what are they talking about? It's mysterious. It's
Spooky.
spooky. All right. What about you, Mr. Tillman?
Well, first, since it's my first year in the group, just want to say thank you. I have a local group, as I mentioned earlier, and I'm now the storyteller of this group, which wasn't the plan originally, but playing in this group definitely gave me the courage to try it out, actually pull through with it, and it's been going good. So regarding this group, yeah, I'm excited for Dread starting up again. Finally, something I can listen to again. But also, I'm really excited for playing in Andrew's Hunter's Hunted game. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be rad. It's gonna be rad. I just would like to finally say to Mitch and Adam and to Alex, we love you, brothers. Unfortunately, you couldn't be here, but we are happy to have you guys in the group too and everything like that. And to everyone who listens and watches to our stuff, seriously, it like just this. It just blows my mind. And I got like fucking OCD with this shit, so I'm constantly gonna be fucking trying to find new creative ways to do shit, man. And just because this scratches a creative itch and I get to have friends and it's a blast, dude. So hopefully one day we'll all meet in person. I know that I think Slavic and Alex may meet in person and Tillman may hypothetically go there. So all our European brothers are gonna meet up and put us to shame, our American brothers. But it'll be fun. Is New Zealand even Europe? It's not Europe, right? That's like South Pacific.
It's like a Pacific island.
Yeah, it's like Pacific. I'm like Europe.
Oceania.
It's fucking Hobbit Town, man. Whatever, dude. So, all right. Thank you for.
New Zealand's really far away.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for watching and listening, folks. I gotta whore myself out though. Please review, thumbs up, all that jazz. It helps. But I mean, we really don't get anything. Starbucks will cut off our
Also,
cold
if you
brew.
haven't joined our Discord, come by, join the
Yes.
Discord. We're always on there chatting with people. At least somebody is. And
The benefits of international cast.
yeah,
Oh!
exactly. There's always somebody on there to just chat and talk and whatever.
Dude, I forgot one thing. We didn't congratulate Lost Sojourn for his new mod position. I was gonna ask someone to do the Star Wars Emperor theme. Yeah, watch out for that guy on Discord, man. The power is deep in him. On that note, I'm gonna go crash from my Starbucks and get yelled at my wife for being on here for too long. I told her this was only gonna be an hour, and we're at the 2-hour mark. So, oh well, dude. All right, guys, thank you. I'm gonna talk to my friends without you all watching. Quit being nosy, and we'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.
Peace.